go through so that the proper thing is done. The idea of the process is so that there is a fair hearing for everybody, and so that a proper decision is taken. That's what's important. Everything else really doesn't matter. The only other things that matter are the reputations of those who have put themselves forward, whether it's the EC who has been accused rightly or wrongly, the EC commissioner and the other commissioners, or those accusers who might have whatever information and have also put themselves forward to lead this so-called battle. Whichever way it is, the processes are set up so that there's a fair hearing. Everybody gets. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay. Let's talk about another developing story, a bit fresher than the EC one. This has to do with swine flu, H1N1 virus.
Very disturbing.
Very disturbing piece of news, which has been linked to the deaths of the 4 students at the Kumasi Academy, SHS. So, front page of the Daily Searchlight, swine flu alert, Ghana Health Service issues warning. So, the Health Service is warning of an outbreak of swine flu or H1N1 in the country. This was contained in a statement issued by the Deputy Director of Public Health, Dr. O.K. Afre. So this follows an ongoing outbreak of confirmed swine flu H1N1 at the Kumasi Academy Senior High School in the Ashanti region. And now, according to this, because initially we thought we were made to believe that meningitis was the cause of the initial deaths, but this report is saying that this outbreak has claimed the lives of 13 in the past 7 months, with more than 40 affected. Some parents during the outbreak took the exposed children home from school, and this move could actually expose the students to anyone that they may come into contact with, and they've given the various signs and symptoms: onset of fever, chills, headache, general weakness, cough, sore throat, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It matches so many other illnesses, but if you get any of these illnesses or symptoms, you want to be seeing your health facilities. Now, there's a lot of comment on swine flu. I want to read some of them for you. So over the weekend, towards the end of the week, I believe the Vice President went to Kumasi to go and sympathize, and also announced that the government would pick up the tab of the funerals. Paying for the funeral cost of the students is the highest form of insult to the deceased parents and me, Tang Wam, writing to us from KNUST. I always say that most of the deaths in Ghana are caused by our political leaders and religious leaders. Why will you kill someone's children as a result of your poor leadership and governance, and again suggest to pay for their funeral costs? Why are so-called leaders being so disrespectful? Breaks my heart. Bereaved parents should not accept the government offer. That's Tang Wam bringing us some news from KNUC, his views. And another one, and I'll get your comments, gentlemen. Blame past governments and current governments for the death of students as a result of swine flu. I'm saying this because it is only the veterinary services who treat and prevent animal diseases so that it will not transfer to humans. But here, we don't care for veterinary services in this country. We've been home since 2011 up until now. Currently, those working with the veterinary services, they're not up to 600 in this country. Let's look at doctors and nurses. They post them every year, and it means we love treatment more than prevention. I'm believing this is a veterinary professional who is remaining unemployed and basically ranting about the swine flu issue. Sami, have the authorities handled this outbreak very well? The local authorities, the education authorities, the health authorities, the school authorities. What's your take on how the situation has been handled so far?
You see, this is most disturbing and very sad for us as a country, that 11 young, students would die in such a bizarre manner. And I think that is a failure of leadership. It's a collective failure of all the authorities and the agencies who have been entrusted with the responsibility of ensuring the health of our children in that area. And by that, I'm referring to the Sokore Mampo Municipal Assembly, the Ghana Education Directorate in that municipality. I'm referring to the Ministry of Education, the Ashanti Regional Minister who doubles as the chairperson of RESEC, And I'm referring to the President of the Republic of Ghana, who takes the ultimate responsibility for the action and inactions of his appointees. I think that they have failed us, and they are the reason why we are here today. You know, Kafui, this didn't start today. This didn't start today at all, because we were told, and we saw media reports as early as April 2017, that 4 students had lost their lives at Kumaka. Now the question I'm asking is that what were all these leaders doing when that issue happened? What investigations were conducted into the causes of death? Did we, do anything to ensure that we unravel the cause of death of those 4, the causes of death of those 4 students? And what remedial, measures were put in place to ensure that such an occurrence was averted? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so we sat aloof, and within a period of 8 months, the death toll has increased from 4 deaths, as was recorded in April 2017, to 11 deaths as we speak now. The children kept dying, till we had, the recent incident where 4 children also lost their lives again. And so that is why I'm saying there is a leadership failure, because you see, that is why the Ghana Education Service is there. That is why the headmasters of the school are there. That is why the Asokore Mampo Municipal Assembly is there. That is why the Ministry of Education is there and all that. When we were in school, it was a big issue, a serious issue of panic and pandemonium if, even one student was lost. In this case, we are not talking about 1 student dying. We are talking about 4 students dying in April. And as we speak now, the authorities in this country, the government of Ghana, cannot tell us of any concrete measures it put in place when the first incident happened to forestall such occurrences. We sat down, allowed the students to die, and all. As we speak now, do you know that even this, revelation that the cause of death is, swine flu, blah, 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 is not very certain at this stage.
Why do you say so?
Because I just read a story on the web where the Ashanti regional minister was saying that, he would want the Ghana Health Service to conduct more investigations into the causes of death, because for him, it is still not certain that the cause of death, is swine flu in all the cases we have seen, and that he suspects that it may be a case of meningitis or something of that sort. Because you remember that when the latest incident happened, we were told, first of all, that the cause of death could be Ebola. The original minister was reported to have said that on a Kumasi radio station. And then later we were told that, oh, the cause of death was meningitis. And so the students were being examined, and they were being given some vaccinations to, stand against meningitis. And then later we were told that, it's bird flu. And now we are hearing swine flu. Which is which? It is important for there to be, credible investigations into the causes of death, so that once and for all we are told that these are the causes of death, or this is the cause of death, and this is what we are doing to ensure that we avert any such future occurrence. Look at, and like I said, government's poor handling of this matter. The minister did not
say it was Ebola,
No, he was reported in the media.
No, he says he did not say that.
That is what he said afterwards. Okay?
He spoke on City News, and he did not say that it was Ebola.
You are talking about City News?
Yes.
The report I'm talking about had to do with what he said on the Kumasi-based radio station, Inshra FM. You understand? And I have spoken to reporters at the Inshra FM who told me that indeed said that, and his denial is nothing but an afterthought. But let's put that aside.
He said he needed to wait for the results of the tests,
but you see,
as similar to what happened when people thought it was Ebola. He didn't say it was Ebola. The
point I am making is still very valid, because what I'm telling you is that even as at now, we are still not certain about the cause of death.
But we've been told that it's H1N1, and there's a release from the Ghana Health Service to that effect. So what are you alleging now?
This story is dated today, 11 December 2017. The headline is Minister calls for further investigations into the cause of Kumaka deaths. You can read the story for yourself.
But is the minister with the Ghana Health Service?
But that is
The
why
Ghana Health Service is warning of an outbreak of H1N1. There's a statement that has been signed by the Deputy Director of Public Health,
But Kafui,
Dr. OK Afre.
Kafui, don't you think that...
Would you not want to believe the Ghana Health Service more than a political person?
Kafui, it is important for the agencies of government involved in this matter to sing one song. That is the point I'm making. There must be a certain level of coherence. There must be a certain level of consistency to allay our fears and to convince and assure us as Ghanaians that indeed we know the cause of death. It doesn't help if the Ghana Health Service says one thing and the Ashanti Regional Minister says another,
Fair
and
point.
the Ghana Education Service says another.
Fair
That
point.
is the point I'm making.
Fair point.
Now, that
I
aside,
want to put those points to Nana.
No,
who has
but
been listening.
if I can just conclude.
No, I want to just,
You
let's
come
point
back
by
to me?
point. We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Point by point. So the impression from Mr. Jemfi is that there are 6 different or 4 different hymn sheets, and it's cacophony
you
because
heard of
people are saying
meningitis
different
as well.
things.
Yeah.
Does this mark of incompetence, really?
Well, his point would have sunk easily and more comfortably if he stuck to just that theoretical position as opposed to the accusations he was trying to lay. Because obviously, I mean, it wasn't that straightforward. But that basic point, that there should be one sound, is a comment, it's worthwhile. The reality too is that, like he himself points out, in the previous deaths, we were not told very clearly what happened. And therefore, there's more space for investigation. This last one was done by Noguchi. So there's no doubt about what has happened on this last one. And that's where he falls short. A call for further investigation is because there are other deaths as well. That's how I understand it. And so it opens up for more. And I think that is also a fair call by the minister. We need to understand what has happened. I believe strongly that there's a very big picture that must be looked at, which is the urgency with which officials deal with certain situations. There's a certain innate reaction to certain things by people, no matter how professional. There tends to be, which is to assume that, well, it will be well, and so we'll deal with it. And, you know, so there's that urgency that says the first death that happened should have drawn the attention of everybody with a certain urgency, a certain weight. It should have happened, was not there. Go to the various schools, find out the depth of processes to deal with a child who's sick when they're in school. What's the first response? What's the second level of response? What's the third level of response? Who's prepared to take up responsibility for a child's ailment when it happens? How prepared are the officials there, from, if it's a boarding house, from the house master or mistress, to the first aid arrangements, to the infirmary if they have one? What's the level of the infirmary? And where's the nearest hospital? Do they have arrangements if they have an urgent situation to ensure that immediately they go there? Even at that local hospital or clinic or wherever, how well prepared are they? All those steps, I'm sure if we were to
processes must be reviewed.
Yes.
Should heads roll?
And I don't know that I'd be quick to say that. I don't know. I'd be quick to say
4
that.
people have died.
I don't know. Yes, but I don't.
11 people.
I don't know the details enough to make a call like that. I don't know enough details to make a call like that. When you make somebody's head roll, it means that you've really done your homework. You know we know where this term came from. Its popularity, so to speak, came from. It ended up with 0 heads rolling. The point is, we need to understand the circumstances properly, and then we can call for that.
Okay.
My immediate reaction is not to call for that. Rather, I'd support what the regional minister has purported to have said regarding further investigation.
Yeah. Okay.
I was about reading that, but I think that there is no contention about that, and so I would want to proceed by answering the question you posed to Nana as to whether or not hairs must roll in this case. I think that hairs must indeed roll if government is serious about, finding a solution to this problem. Because clearly, the various authorities in charge of this issue have all failed us. You know that at the time that, 4 students died, that's very recently, last week Friday, a day after, which was a Saturday, the school was commemorating its 60th anniversary. I do not know why the school still went ahead with the program, why the headmaster of the school and the leaders of the school still went ahead with the program, when the day before that, event, 4 students had lost their lives. And again, the president visited the school as a special guest of honor. I would want to find out whether the president was briefed, because I've had the benefit of listening to the speech of the president, and at no point did the president, say anything about the deaths which had occurred a night before he visited the school. No word of condolence was expressed by the president to the families who had lost their wars. Nothing was said about what government intended to do to, solve the problem. You understand? And the president left Kumaka without saying anything about the deaths of 4 students which had happened a day before he visited the school. Now, about 4 days after, the president goes back to Kumasi the second time for the Asante Heme's funeral. And again, the president didn't, visit the school to ascertain things for himself, because clearly this is a big issue. This is a disaster. We are talking about 4 students losing their lives. The president never visited the school. The president never said anything about the issue. He was mute, very silent on the matter. And I began to ask myself, is this president really, sensitive to the plight of Ghanaians? Does he care about the students?
He sent his number 2.
That was just 2 days ago, Friday, after journalists like Manessa Azuri had complained openly in the media, and after all of us had complained and said that government was being insensitive to this issue, and that government's handling of this issue was very poor. I think that if government was proactive, lives could have been saved. These students we have lost could have become the next Kafu Days in the media, or the next Nana Fridua Ajimanufuriata, or the next president of Ghana, or the next justices of the Supreme Court, and so on and so forth. We have sat down aloof, allowed them to die, missed the opportunity of stamping out the problem, investigating the problem, knowing the cause of death, and putting in place a raft of measures to deal with that. And now we have gone to see their parents. We are sharing, some pittances to them for the funeral of the child. I think that is shameful. That is very shameful. The Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, and the government of Ghana should be concerned about an investigation of the matter, so that we can unravel the real cause of death.
Fantastic.
And we can put in place measures to ensure that no child in this day and age
will die
loses his life as a result of swine flu, which is very, very curable.
Thank you very much. Sammy Jamfi speaks for the NDC. And Nana?
I like your last comment.
It's a
Sammy Jamfi speaks for the NDC.
Yes, he does.
Oh, come on. Nana,
that's why he's representing the
being
NDC.
very nationalistic and very patriotic.
You sat here and passed judgment on people without a basis. I haven't said a word.
Worrying trend. Disaster, then officials go, we pay for funerals. It's not just this government. It happened when the school building collapsed last year on some kids in the central region. People went there, they promised to pay for funerals. It's a trend in Ghana. Something happens, government officials go, they commiserate.
I'm wondering whether Sammy is going to respond to that.
And then they pay for funerals. So I mean, it's not good enough.
I was going to say, I'm wondering whether Sammy is going to respond to that point you make. Because, your point is that what you've just raised, Kafui, makes you see that it's propaganda and all the other stuff that he's interested in. You see, we have lives lost here. And so the call for all the people within that vicinity to take up a responsibility and show us exactly what has happened. And in the process, we should be alert about all these are responsibilities. For me, it's where it ends. I'm not pushing it. Now to go ahead and call up the president should have done, and then you raise the same issue. And therefore, if we want to get into his territory, his propagandist territory, then we go into the last 8 years and all the opportunities that Professor Mills and
this is not an invitation for equalization.
You see, I was very quiet in your utterances. I left you space to do what you like. I didn't dabble in it because I wasn't interested. You to give me that respect.
Okay.
Now, if we went into his territory and dabbled in that type of politicking on a matter of this nature, then we go into the last 8 years. Then everybody who's passed away based on the negligence of one system or the other, it's not the officials there, it's the president, Mr. Mahama and Professor Mills. Let's be serious and let's take our systems and hold our systems. If eventually we see that it was really not theirs, but they're not empowered, then you go to the next level and until you get to the point where it matters. And that's how we should straighten our systems. I'm referring to the fact that we should go into the school systems, for example, and it's not only schools, it's a whole host of other areas, and find out the sense of urgency that people apply. When you go to a hospital, the sense of urgency that a nurse applies to you when you've gone on an emergency situation and they have you just sit somewhere, or they're busy drinking their tea or making their call before they attend to you. All those things come to play, and that's what I'm saying, that this thing must bring to the fore also this concern, because I'd hope that in the investigating of the causes of death, we should also find out how people responded, because they are part of that cause of death or not. Yes. So we need to see that.
Okay.
And then it brings to the fore. So as for me, it's painful. It's painful. Like I'm nowhere near those parents, but darn, who would want to lose their child?
Yeah. We just went to school.
Let alone go and lose their child to some funny disease. So I won't even venture. It's condolences to them. We pray that the systems are being checked, and we should be alert. We really should. The ministry is working. The services are working. I'd be glad if we kept a tight eye on all the processes. We shouldn't do our typical thing of where we make noise and all this talk comes in a week we've forgotten. I hope that in a month's time somebody would go back and check.
Okay.
All that.
Let's read some messages. Let's read some messages.
Just to
chip don't start another round of
Why is it that anytime this government is criticized constructively, it is made to look like somebody is engaging in unnecessary partisanship? I mean, I have a problem with that thinking. You see, even in law, the parents who have lost their wars can take the authorities in the school on grounds of negligence, because clearly there is a duty of care.
They can't sue the president, though. They can only sue the school.
But that is why
I said that
is why I said that the president has the ultimate responsibility, and he had the opportunity to deal with this problem when he visited the school.
You've made those points.
He has visited Kumasi on 2 occasions.
You've made those points, Sammy. You've made those points.
He has done nothing.
Let me read some messages right now coming into us on 0246 020580. Kafui, my brother schools at Kumaka. He's a Form 3 student. I've spoken with him and together with the assistant boys prefect. And from what they are saying, they think there's a matter of spiritualism going on there and scamming by a number of students. That was ascertained during the burial of the first 4 dead people. You are entreating the authorities to see through the matter of scamming and some spiritual matters going on there. Please let us know your name, and we'll get in touch with you on that. Interesting theory there. Good morning. Kwabna from Boachi says, the situation is really alarming because as of now there are rumors that the H1N1 virus has also killed another student in Koforidua. Government should be serious and do something about this. You've mentioned the school. I'm not going to mention it right now because there may be a panic there. But you're saying a school in Koforidua, so we'll check that out and get some more information on that. Ghana is prone to any kind of disease and disaster. All that a Ghanaian worker knows is to dress up and be called by his or her professional name: doctor, minister, teacher, lawyer, banker, among others. We're absolutely not working for Ghana. Ghana is Ghana today by God's favor, says Ajiwuddin NKZ. Good morning. This is from Edward in Sunyani. The outbreak is a clear indication of inexperience from the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service. The health system of Ghana is a monopoly of doctors and nurses. We're calling on the media to help project allied health practices in Ghana. Otherwise, we all die. And so that wraps up the swine flu messages. There's a message here from OPK in Gwasu in the Brown Afro region. The Boss's probe is in the right direction because she wasn't fair to all parties in 2016 elections, and I smell corruption in her work. So we want justice, says OPK Goss. So if you have any comments, let us know. 0246-020-580. There's a raft of corruption stories here, and I suspect, okay, so this is my last paper. Finder. CDD wants the president fight corruption now or forget about Ghana Beyond Aid. So full story is on page 2 of the Finder. Says, look, the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda is under threat because resources, if not protected, may be plundered for private gain. And public institutions need to be more transparent and accountable. 64% of Ghanaians want corrupt officials prosecuted. They are saying no to corrupt acts, and the rhetoric of setting up institutions and enactment of laws has to cease. Ghana Beyond Aid, corruption, a big threat. Nana, you agree with CDD?
It's definitely a big threat, definitely, because we've seen in the past how things have happened. And when you get assistance to develop the country, to grow the country, it ends up going into people's pockets in one form or the other. People get caught up in all kinds of funny things. And so yes, corruption is a big problem. No examples come readily to mind, but the fact is that if, for example, now one comes to mind, you take this paperless system that has been applied at the ports. Look at the difference it has made in revenue collection there. Where was all that money going to? So far, the statistic that was put out was that huge difference of 56% increase in the collections in a matter of 10 days in September when it was launched, compared to the previous year. So where was all that 56% going to? We're waiting to hear the amounts of money collected so far.
Premix, diversions, that's corruption also.
Big. And so we need to understand
what is happening with the premix.
All of that. We need to understand that. When
no, beyond understanding, what's the action?
No, I'm saying, well,
some indictments must take place.
I'm not about to pretend I'm an expert on the premix. I rely on whatever.
No, it's diverted. It's as simple as that.
You see, but it's diverted.
Money has gone into unapproved pockets.
Yeah,
simple.
And that one, so whatever processes will expose it. Mm-hmm. But the details of that reveal, and I've listened to other people speak on that, people who have looked into the matters and have been involved in it. Typical two people I'll mention, Alote Jacobs, and who's the NDC Central Regional Chairman, and Kweku Bakun, who's very seasoned journalist, very seasoned investigative journalist, award-winning, one might add. Now, the two of them stated very clearly on Peace FM the details of these things over years, and therefore there's a fundamental need to look at the processes properly and deal with it.
Do we talk too much in Ghana?
It's better than taking up arms.
No, not about arms, about taking action like Magufuli, who doesn't talk much, but he clamps down on corrupt officials quickly,
there's
without much fuss.
I'm not going to say that we should stop talking. I think that if we talk, somebody will listen eventually.
We should start acting on anything like that.
So if you talk in the right direction.
I mean, if premix fuel is allocated to unconfirmed landing beaches, that's
so let's talk in the right direction.
You arrest them.
Let's talk to the right direction. There's nothing wrong with talking. That I'm not going to stop.
Okay.
What I think should happen is that we should talk to the right direction. We should talk, for example, to if it's a matter of premix, who should the investigative body be? Who should be dealing with it? We should talk to those bodies. Why aren't you doing your work? Then it gets to the right places. But if we sit here and just talk, when we finish, we're gone. So the real issues are, I agree. I think that when you talk to Mr. Kandapa, in his previous private disposition as an advocate for managing, he had an anti-corruption foundation he was working with. The kinds of monies that we lose on a yearly basis based on corruption alone is why a call like that is a good call.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Thank
very
you very
important
much.
that going forward, we've heard all the things about corruption, talk about the number of Ghanaians who are interested in seeing that people are dealt with. We've heard about the processes that President Akufo-Addo is interested in because he wants to depoliticize it so that we can get things done. For me, it's a good call from CDD.
Sammy, corruption, threatening Ghana beyond aid, more action needed, less talk required?
You know, I couldn't agree with the CDD more because they have hit the nail right on its head. If Ghana and government is serious about building a country beyond aid, then we must be serious about how the scarce resources of Ghana as a state, you know, are utilized, because we cannot allow corrupt elements in government and in the country to milk the scarce resources of the country and still boast about building a country beyond aid. To build a country beyond aid, you will need resources, and the little we have must be judiciously utilized. And that is why, you know, bodies like CDD, the Ghana Integrity Initiative, are all worried about the current, you know, phenomenon which we are seeing under this country. I mean, under this government. I mean, the wastage of the resources of Ghana under this government is just too much. It's become one too many. And I think that if the president is really serious about building a country beyond aid, then the president must stamp his feet on the ground and must deal with such, you know, leakages. I mean, Kafu, you tell me, how is it justified for government to spend 3.5 million Ghana cedis on just publicity for the fraudulent Ghana Post GPS application that government has introduced? 3.5 million Ghana cedis for publicity. We've all been in this country, and we haven't seen any publicity they have done, aside the few Jack Where Are You billboards we have seen in town. Yet government is telling us that it has spent 35 billion old Ghana cedis of the taxpayers' money in publicizing that application alone. Government has again spent 8 million Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to 80 billion old Ghana cedis, on publicity, on the so-called publicity and education on this, you know, army worms issue. You understand? And you go to the rural communities, you go to our farming communities, you go there and you realize that no education has been done by the various agric institutions, and yet government is telling us that it has spent a whooping 80 billion old Ghana cedis on education and publicity alone.
We don't use old Ghana cedis again.
It's amazing.
It's
8 million.
8 million Ghana cedis. But I want our viewers and, you know, people like my mother who are listening to us to appreciate the figures very well. And you see, my brother, that aside, I know Nana will laugh.
Nana, smart woman.
It is not a laughable.
She knows what 8 million is.
But it is not a laughable matter. You see, it is not a laughable matter. When you spend 80 million Ghana cedis, which is equivalent to 80 billion old Ghana cedis.
8 million.
8 billion old Ghana cedis. 80 billion. No, if you spend 80 million Ghana cedis on just administrative cost in raising, you know, the failed energy bond they went for, 80 million Ghana cedis, which translates into 800 billion old Ghana cedis on just per diems, hotel accommodation, transportation, and per diems. Now, how can that? How can
so for you, the fight against corruption must go beyond talking.
Yes,
we want to wrap this up.
Okay,
you're out of time.
No,
you're out of time.
So to conclude,
you're out of time.
I'm just concluding. That, you see, when we talk, they say that we are doing politics. Today, it is a CDD talking. It's a Ghana Integrity Initiative talking. It is Justice Emil Short talking. It is the U.S. ambassador talking. It is the Danish ambassador to Ghana talking. And I believe that this government must take these calls seriously.
Thank you.
It is indeed
Sami
committed
speaks
to the
for the NDC,
because the wasting
Nana
is just too much.
Speaks for the MPP. He's the second vice chair of the MPP in the Eastern region. Nana, you're out of time. You're out of time. One sentence.
All I want to say is, when the special prosecutor starts working, I hope they don't say that there's witch hunting.
Thank you very much. Let's. Good morning. I want to know from Mr. Sami Gyamfi whether he has constructively criticized the incumbent government before. I don't think so. Sami should put Ghana first, NDC second.
MPP
life in Kumasi is hard. Life in Accra is harder. But you believe that being an NDC communicator is the hardest in these times. Is that true?
Very true.
And then he's one of Nana's friends.
Nana's friends. Block Factory.
So
very true.
Lansani writes on from Damongo. Kafui, I think we must be very candid in our criticisms. Point is the Kumaka incident and matters arising. The president needs to be briefed on issues before speaking to them. Maybe government was relying on the reports that could have led to the deaths. Good morning. I think NDC members have turned this influencer thing into politics because they want Ghanaians to listen to them, so that Ghanaians will give them attention.
Exactly.
That's your view there. And then this one, this is from Abdul Karim in Kumasi. He says, I live around Kumaka, and the main gate is still left open. If it's swine flu, then it's being spread across the country because people converge at the school for their anniversary, interacted with students and teachers, and went back to their homes with the infection. Government is deceiving us, or God save us, or Abdul Karim Kumasi. We will get the latest from Kumaka when we speak to our man, Isaac. But thank you, gentlemen. Have a beautiful Monday and the rest of the week.
Thank you.
And there's still to come how to remain not broke during the Christmas season. Money management tips from our experts. You should listen. Should be good. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Jame, therefore, ma yawo hoyi brings you. Na fe yemu so mo kwan.
Say the therefore say no.
Wada Roma, manento nana say nsuo asem de mo ha na okra ye ba no ye de nsuo ba.
Adai. Se waba efie. Wa say yanyama mu nsuo nom no. Wo so di nsuo ba. Ene sai.
Nana eti amra.
Therefore, yesre wo. Nsuo we eye ahemfo nsuo a ye de afa mfidie mu. Asone so ayene kroji a Free Kingdom Beverages Limited, King's Drinking Water.
Baima, nsuo na de.
Adampa.
King's Drinking Water. Ene na King's Drinking Water.
Ahifusio de.
Sasso, siku mentonton preko. Sasso, siku mentonton preko. Edana jwami nebuseshe. Yeha kesiare malaria. Minya me phone me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Tonton preko, sasso, mi se kumen tonton preko. Kumon tonton preko, sasso, kum tonton preko. Na ni sham ne die demonstronko.
Bronya, Freddy's Corner, Yasa babyum, Bronya, obia se Freddy's Corner, Edientia, Chenyoma, I mean free instant gift. Nyawian, so be where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. What shall do Freddy's Corner Bronya where? Ubenya dear bit to say, wine, mackerel, biscuits, and in your man would be brave.
Wow, Freddy's Corner, thank you. Freddy's Corner, me that say.
Nyawian, so be where Freddy's Corner shop, Bia Wagana Abia. Not do mobile phone, with laptop, or printer, and also PlayStation. Not do instant gift. Wow, to Mikako Freddy's Corner. Not what you watch here. Freddy's Corner, your home of authentic mobile phone and accessories.
Head office, Kokomlimli, any city light, ni DNM share. Fre 020-7937-323.
It's 8 o'clock, dead. 2 hours have gone. But the great thing is that there's more time. there's an hour left of this show. Your favorite way to be late for work on a Monday morning like this, 11th of December, 2 weeks away from Christmas. Please take this WhatsApp number down, because I know you're going to be sending us WhatsApp messages on this particular topic. The WhatsApp number is 0246 020 580. I'll do it slowly. 0246 020 580. Who wants not to be broke? It's coming up next. Stay with us. My guest is Kingsley Ajenku Hayford. He's the co-founder of Ann Street Africa. He's a chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, and investment banker. And he's here to talk to us about money management in this time of Christmas and New Year activities. Kingsley, good morning.
Morning.
Good to have you here.
I'm also happy to be here.
We're talking money management today because it comes on the back of a conversation I was having with a friend recently, and he says, listen, January feels like the longest month of the year. In fact, January doesn't start from 1st January. It normally starts from 26th December. And it seems to last forever, because year after year, it appears that he's always broke. And he just can't understand what is going on. And I've been talking to a lot of people who say, look, December to January is one of the most stressful times of the year, because they just are not able to make their money stretch to last to that period when the January salary comes and you get your alert, and then you can start getting some small relief. What is it about the Christmas period, the New Year period, that makes people want to spend so much?
Kofi, I think this is an annual thing. It's been there for many, many years. Probably for Ghana, it's about 60 years since independence. For all of us, if you take your age and now where you are now, you know that every year you've been celebrating. Probably when you are young, like 5, 6, 10, you don't see it, 15. But when you start working, they begin to see that you are involved in the whole process. But let me put it this way. I always liken Christmas to a newborn baby, where parents are expecting the baby to be born on the 9th month, and after maybe a week or 2 or a month, you do the naming ceremony. So you plan towards it and buying the things of the baby, and then on the day become easier. Another group also will not plan based on 1 or 2 things, and the baby comes and they are everywhere borrowing money to just get a baby adored. And so just after you enter into some crisis from there. The same way, Christmas is celebrated by over 2 billion people all over the world, one of the most celebrated programs in celebrations. And on that day, it's like there's happiness, there's joy, the Messiah is born, you have to celebrate it. So many activities takes place. Number one, there's love in terms of gifts, giving gift to people and everything. So on the back of that, you are tempted to spend and give something to someone, invite people home. Again, it's an opportunity for families to come together, to think of the year, how things have gone, if there are any challenges, they sit down. And on the back of that grouping, there's some celebration takes place. Food is made available, some drinks, and every single activity is cost. Some too is also an opportunity for them to travel home, to see their parents, some to take holidays, because from January to December it's been terrible. Some don't have leave at all. Maybe only Christmas that they take. So they want to travel, and also some costs come there. So there's a whole lot of activity, and every activity goes at cost. The key thing is, how do you plan towards the Christmas so that you, after spending, you are still in good shape to face January. Like you said earlier, January seems to be the longest, 31 days. But guess what? I think if you take the whole year, the only month that doesn't have 31 days is February. It's either 28, 29. But all of them have 30, 31, 30, 31. And guess what? You go through them nicely month after month. Because why? If you take your January salary, you use it for February. You take March, February, you use it for March. April for May. June, July, August, September, October, November.
So November is the month.
I don't know what happens in November. Suddenly, people lose control. And instead of using November salary for December, they collapse their normal planning with the Christmas activities combined. And then apparently in December, they pay early By 15th, some get their salary.
So this is the month for December salaries for a lot
I'm
of
telling you,
companies.
this is the month for, if you have taken your November
week,
salary,
yeah.
this is meant for December. And if you collapse your I'm sure by Friday, latest by Monday, the second tranche of your salary will be coming for December. And people normally will collapse it and they use it for the Christmas. Guess what? You have nothing for January.
And there may be a bonus also, apart from the January
Christmas.
That
is the 13th, month. Check that you get, which is meant, again, if you have planned very well, you could, we see bonus too is decided by management, you know, unless you have performed before you, but so you cannot so predict that, so you are tempted to use November and December to celebrate and feel good as far as Christmas is concerned.
In expectation of a bonus.
So if it doesn't come, you are hot. But if it comes, even the 13th check, the purpose of the 13th, number one, is to, if you have any debt outstanding, that is the moment to use it to settle it. So that you start the year on a clean note, where you can save and plan very well. Again, this 13th check, the bonus, is also meant to reconstruct your savings plan. If you have not been saving, that would be an opportunity to, for example, if you earn 1,000 Ghana cedis a month, and for bonus, you get maybe 100% bonus, and it's 1,000 again. At the beginning of the year, you start your savings 1,000. It means that come 2018, you do well. And so the bonus is not meant to use in celebration, but to reconstruct major things. And then also you may add a portion to the November salary and then plan it and then celebrate well. And then you have January being a very interesting month for you. Guess what? You see, it is stressful because, you see, when it comes to January, even companies don't pay early. The reason is this. You see, they spend a lot in terms of bonus, pay salary at the same time. And so when it comes to January, companies are also going to the market to do business. For example, if you are into goods, like maybe rice business, a lot of people will buy rice in December. So January, they will not buy. So certainly cash flows in January is not that much for businesses. And so they themselves also slow down. And so they will wait till 31st, sometimes the first week of February, before they pay for January salary. And then there you see a lot of staff. They become accountant by force. They walk into the pay room or the accounts office trying to find out, have you sent the check? Have you gone to the bank?
So actually, January starts in December and ends in February.
Certainly. It's a long one. It's like 62 days. So it's a long stretch. So I expect that at this point, a lot of people should be very careful in terms of how they do their spendings and then plan as much as possible to have a very successful Christmas celebration and also a very good financially sound January. Because guess what? January you have to pay school fees. And in fact, January most schools will call you early and by 5th they'll call you, can you pay? If they have some payment plan, you have to do the first tranche and then the second tranche. And so you must get out, and then most people also rent annually. I mean, annually, January to December. So by January, they should be paying your rent is due. If you do 2 years, probably 2018 January will be at the end of the 2 years. So you have to pay. So a lot of things are coming up when it comes to January. And then once you don't have the needed finances to support it, you are going to be affected big time.
The other things also, even like the registration of your car,
it is
normally
very
around January.
Everything,
insurance, January.
It's year to year end. And so a lot of things are packed there. That is why you realize that in some offices, when you send some junior officers to buy some things for you, and the thing is, you give them 20 cedis, you buy the thing is 17 cedis. They try to keep the trade.
The change doesn't come back.
And as if they forgot it. And that is why even senior men will call you, where's my change? Because everybody's stuck.
Because he himself is hustling.
He's hustling. So, and so you see, in January, you call your friends and trust me, you talk and nothing happens. So look, I don't have much. And everybody will seem to be rejecting, not because a lot of spending has gone on. And these are things that people should watch, and there are financial strategies to look at how to unlock and address some of these issues.
You're watching Hard Talk. We're talking money matters right now. WhatsApp number is 0246 020 580. It's a money clinic, and the doctor is here, so he's open for consultation for the next couple of minutes. Phone lines will be open. Call in and throw your problem out there. Let's see whether we can give you some tips to help you protect your November salary from excess spending in December, your December salary from anything that may bring your financial plan to ruin in January, so that you can actually budget and plan. Why is it so hard to plan? We know the things that we want to do, but it's so hard to do. How can you help somebody who wants to plan, to budget, but just can't do it?
I think, let me put it, there are two groups here. The first group is those who have the foresight to say, look, I want to have a very good Christmas celebration. So maybe right from January, they start planning on the back that they want to have some birthday parties postponed to that period. They want to maybe have some weddings. So they plan on that side and to be able to have a good Christmas celebration. So they have a fund that they start planning. Maybe I want to spend 1,000 or 5,000 in December. And so they keep on putting from November, October, September, August, they keep on putting some funds in there. So it makes the Christmas celebration quite smooth because they've planned for it.
And the money is there.
The first level is to forecast as to what is it I want to, what activities do I want to engage in when it comes to Christmas. If I want to invite my friends to my home for opportunity to chat, what do I buy? So with that forecast, you will come up with your activities, and then every activity has cost. And so on the back of the cost, you build a budget. And the budget must be compared, the cost must compare to your income. How much you have for the Christmas celebration. So once you look at the two, if the budget for the Christmas is higher than the income you have to cut. You cut some of them to align so that you can have a very good Christmas celebration. That's for those who have what? Planned. Now, there are those who have not planned at all based on various economic circumstances that they find themselves, and it has come. And when it comes like that, you have to spend. Here, I want to say that Christmas, it is not for you in the spending. If you did not plan for Christmas, this Christmas is not for you when it comes to spending.
But you see, people don't want to be called chisel or you Armstrong, tight-fisted. People want to be seen to be generous.
Kafui, you see, it is better to be embarrassed in December than January, and be stiff in December than in January. Because in January, even your closest friend cannot help you. Your children will go to school, they will be sacked. And the embarrassment is so huge that your landlord will attempt to eject you. This is better than just a gift given to somebody and you cannot afford it. It's a question of being honest. Look, you can be honest, this Christmas is not the best at all. I'm sure next year could be a good one. Be honest with it. And you can try to, if you have some small money, you can allocate. For example, you can have your, maybe some 20 or 10 Ghana CD up to about 100 Ghana, and everybody will meet, how is it? Oh, for buy me some drink. Oh, okay, I think I have some 10 Ghana CD for you can buy some more. So after sharing some 10 up to 10 people, that's the end of it.
So your giving should even be budgeted. You must have an idea of how much you're going to give out, and when it gets to the end, you stop.
You must have a list. Have a list of the gifts that you're going to give. It's very, very important. Do a list with cost, and you know that I'm going to share about 10 items. These are the people I'm going to give to. And those I cannot have to find ways and means to let them appreciate the fact that, oh, this year is not the best. Or if you had come maybe 2 days ago, I would have sorted you. Some people visited me and I've gone deep into it. So look, let's put it that way.
So some honesty, some diplomacy.
Very important. You need to do it very well so that you have a very interesting January. Other than that, you'll be embarrassed.
What about the man who or the lady who has blown their November salary already at this stage, 11th day in December? What can you tell that person?
I think for that person, I'll urge you to stay calm. Number one, if you want to buy dresses, please use your own
stay calm, man.
Stay calm. Because if you don't stay calm, you collapse in January. Because Christmas is not for you. I want to be blunt on it. So it is not for you.
Stay calm.
The best you can do, get some transport somewhere where you can visit colleagues. Maybe you can enjoy some drinks but for you, don't attempt to do any cooking is a normal thing. Do your as if there's no Christmas. Just cook. Eat your normal food. But you can visit people. That's okay. But for you, just make sure you reserve the December salary to start in January. Other than transport to work alone. In January, that's why you see people in Mercedes-Benz, Rolls-Royce are buying 1 gallon. And it's serious. They go to the fuel stations and they give you please 1 gallon. And you see people eating in gym, buying food, and even you are trying the latest Benz, even plantain you cannot even buy. Groundnut. And you realize that you have gone too deep because you did overspending.
Is this problem a problem? You are alluding to it, but a lot of people will think that the richer you are, the better you are able to manage your finances. Is that a fallacy?
No, it's not true. I mean, you see, if you cannot save today with your 100 Ghana cedis a month, or even you are earning 500, you cannot save out of the 500 Ghana cedis today. If you are getting 5,000, you cannot save. Why? You see, the moment your income increases, your taste changes. One, you feel like, I think I need a car now. So the moment you buy a vehicle, one, cost of maintenance, fuel cost, insurance comes in. So they come to take portions of your income. So therefore, your ability to spend also reduces again. So you come under the same financial stress.
So the people who are really rich but still maintain the old lifestyle, they must be super disciplined.
Yes, because you see, the good thing is that if you're able to mobilize a very sizable amount of money, the interest alone, let's say you have about 1 million Ghana cedis in investment, 10% of that, getting 10% on it, that's about 100,000.
A year.
A year.
Divided by 12, so you are making
almost
like
about 8,000 there.
Income.
And that can take care of you the whole year. And so your 1 million Ghana cedis is intact. And so we are, from my perspective, I'm pushing people towards mobilizing enough savings to the extent that you don't even touch the principal. You play with the interest. And so that's why I said there are 2 seasons. Are you in the investment season or the spending season? If your financial situation is not the best, then you are not in the spending season. You are rather in the investment season. Invest. Avoid everything that will take more of your income and improve your investment.
In case you know that around this time, people are not thinking of investment too. A lot of people are thinking about Christmas is coming.
Oh, definitely. See, our viewers, I want to put it this way. I'm not saying don't celebrate it. Do it in a modest way. Look at your income and come up with what type of Christmas do I want to have or celebrate. That is the beginning. Once you determine that objective, it translates into your expenses. And again, you see, something happens here. A lot of people are holding ATMs, and I want to advise this Christmas, please put them aside as we walk around. Because the temptation to spend with ATM is there. People are going to use a lot of mobile money. Decide that, oh, I'm going to put 1,000 mobile money. Once I exhaust it, that's the end of it. A lot of people have also connected their mobile money to the bank account. So that's why the whole thing is. Just on their phone, they can move funds. And so there's a lot of stress on people. And there's a lot of opportunities for you to use funds. And so all you need to do is be a bit careful in all these situations. And again, there are some invitations you also need to avoid. Some of the invitations, when you are invited, when you go, you have to dash money. Because you go and meet the whole family and it's like, oh, long time, okay, you take 50, take 2, before you come, you are gone quietly. So some of the invitations, when you think you are not in good shape, just turn them down.
From what you're
that's
saying,
the way forward.
I think it's an attitude thing.
Perfect.
If you want to really not be broke during this time and even beyond, you've got to condition yourself.
It's a decision that you have to make. It's a decision. You have to decide the way forward, and you have to be disciplined and stick. Again, you see, there are families that men who don't normally have meetings, they don't communicate to their wives. And you see, tell your wife your financial circumstances today. Have a meeting. Today is Monday. Maybe come home later by 6, 7. Have a meeting. Have an IMF meeting with your wife. Discuss the way forward. Look, I think I can buy you one dress. I can buy one shoe for the boy, and this is how far you can go. Beyond that, maybe for the year, let's buy one, maybe some chicken, small, and then maybe one crate of this. I think that's all. Okay, about your parents, about this. What can we do? Okay, a bit of this and this. Let's end it there. Or we can't go to your parents, so what do we do? You must find ways and means. But you see, in some families, you all go and meet your in-laws, and if they have about 5 girls and guys, you're all married, you have to go. And everybody must go with a gift. And that's also very stressful. And so that is also very demanding. And you have to find ways and means. What is important is carrying something. But if you cannot afford to, you can lobby through your wife and then make sure that this year things didn't go well. And for me, nobody wishes that the son-in-law or this should be in some financial crisis. But sometimes when you come and you want to be the gentleman and make things happen, they are happy to receive it. But at the end of the day, you go and realize that January you can't pay your children school fees, and they call, oh, the children at home, why? It's quite embarrassing. So you have to choose between the two. And a man must be tough in his decisions and get it right.
Indeed, I'm enjoying this conversation. Would like to invite you into the conversation as well. We are putting the phones on numbers on the screen. I think I have a caller already. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question? Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Turn the volume of your TV set to 0 and try again and give us a call. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and throw your question out to Kingsley, who is educating us on how we can not be broke during this very, very high pressure season called Christmas, where salaries come early, and if you don't take care, all of a sudden you are washing all kinds of funds. You are feeling like Midas or Onassis, and before you know, you are flat on your feet.
Very flat.
Yeah.
Very, very flat. And like one thing I also want people to know, there are some savings tips that you can also get when it come to Christmas. I mean, first and foremost, you should do your list of what you want to buy. I mean, for the home, for friends, do a whole list. And then once the list is done, look at the budget. Save some 50.
Save some 50.
50, and then you can save it for investment for January.
Okay. Let's take a call. Let's take a call right now. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. My name is Tishu and I'm calling from what?
Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Tishu and I'm calling from Walwali.
Okay, go ahead, sir. What's on your mind?
Okay. I want to find out from the gentleman. You know, we have some in-laws, they are very, very difficult. You visit them, then you don't give them something, or you decide to take a stand as a man. You don't even bother visiting them at this particular season. They will decide to wage war against you, and some of them will even like to influence their daughter, maybe to divorce you. What do you think about that one?
Thank you very much. Difficult in-laws waging war on hapless husbands. How do you deal with them?
I think well, you should have some foresight, you know. Maybe you've married for 10 years, 5 years, so it be happening. So by now you know the trend and the behavioral pattern. Once you know them, you try to find solution to them once and for all. Unfortunately, if it happens that you have not seen this trend, and now this discussion is coming up, as for this one, just find something very simple. Maybe it could be some 5 kilos of rice or something, not the usual one bag that you do, but it's something should go.
Something should go.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. Let's get on the line. Please turn the volume of your TV to 0 and let's talk through the phone. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Isaac Kalvakasofanko.
Fantastic. What's your contribution?
My contribution, I like what the financial is saying over there. You know, as a man, you need to take very strong stance when it comes to issues. It's not every time that you need to listen to the woman. Sometimes you need to check your finances. And I like when he said if you're earning 100 Ghana now and you're not, you can't save. The same when you are earning like 5,000, you still can't save because your expenses still increase. So I like your show very, very much.
Okay. Do you have any tips for us? Any savings tips for us around this Christmas time?
Well, my tip would be for me in general. I first look at my finances and I study my career and see what I need this very season. I make sure it's not over. It's not more than what I can.
That's it.
I can spend or what I can't afford. So I always try to limit my spending more than I try to up my savings.
There you go. Good job. Keep at it. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's him.
Yeah, I think you must have a hard stance, but the condition is this. Have a meeting. I mean, communication is very, very important. It's not a question of just, there are men who will just say, don't talk to me. I'm not ready to listen. It doesn't work that way. You will not have peace. Trust me. The Christmas will be hell. First, sit down, open up with a way forward, your circumstances. And then once your wife understands the situation, everything will be okay. Then again, those who have also planned well, once you also communicate with your wife, and the spending keep on coming, you know, as the thing goes, and sometimes you cannot stop it. That's why you have to be disciplined. Look, I've budgeted 2,000 for Christmas.
Okay.
If you exceeded it, we are not going further.
And that's it.
And so that's where the strength should be.
Oh, okay, let's go to home. Let's go to home now. Please turn the volume on your TV to 0 and talk to us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name.
I'm Wise, calling from home.
Thank you, Wise. Go ahead.
Yeah, please, I want to find out if you have a wife that is not, let me say, truthful to you. Maybe when he's having 1,000 Ghana, she'll tell him she's having 500. How are you going to manage that? Maybe if you are open to the person. For example, when you have 500, you tell her, oh, I have 500. But when she has 1,000, she'll tell you, oh, I'm having 500. By the end of the day, you realize that she's spending up to 1,000. So how are you going to deal with that?
Okay, but how do you know she has 1,000 if 500 when you think she has 1,000?
Depends on how she's spending.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Well, I think this one, I always want to say, as a man, you have a responsibility to take care of the home. And so for me, decide that you are managing the entire home. What the woman will do for you is additional support. Because if you want to concentrate on the woman on that side, you always not have a happy home. That's one thing I've realized. Focus, create more wealth, work hard, increase your streams of income. I mean, if you work in one place, you close by 5 o'clock. Between 5 up to 9, if there's any other business you can do it to increase your income so that you can address all the major financial issues. But again, once you are also transparent with your wife, you know, it's the first point, then once a while, just call her to the table. Look, I think this is the trend I'm seeing. It's not the best.
All right.
If I also start doing the same thing, what will happen to the home?
And so there must be openness.
Openness.
Okay.
I mean, once you do that, you can address some of these issues. Yeah.
Let's go to Oyarifa, please. Oyarifa is gone. Sorry about that, Oyarifa. Please try and call us back. It's also possible that she may tell you that she has 500, but she's spending maybe 700. She probably may have saved from what you gave her earlier on and is adding it to. So let us not impugn the women too much.
I mean, you must take full charge of the home. And once you take full charge, whatever they do is support.
Let's go to Nima. Good morning, Nima.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and your contribution.
Yeah, I'm Michael.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to find out from the gentleman. First of all, I appreciate the program and I really have to let you know.
Thank you.
I have a fiancé who lives far away at the Donga.
Okay.
She actually works here, but every year she travels the same time. She's like, I have to support her in buying most of the things. She will need them along. And probably buying some items for family members, her mom. And so, but looking at the expenses, if I do that, definitely, like you are talking about, dinner is going to be tough for me. I've tried to explain things to her, but it's not blending well with her.
Okay.
So in this case, I need some tips. What should I do?
Okay. How many years have you been doing this? For how many years?
This is our first year.
This is your first year?
Yeah.
So she's just giving you a list of things that she wants you to buy for her people?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Kingsley, thank you so much, Michael.
This one, you must be plain.
Yes.
First, let her know. I know this is more of a relationship, so sometimes declaring your income issue is quite a problem. But I don't know the extent of the relationship.
It's a fiancé.
Yes. So if the level they've reached, the openness can be, this is how much I earn. And you can do that, that's fine. Yeah. If you're able to declare how much you earn, then itemize your expenditure in January for her to see.
Yes.
For example, transport to work, it costs you so much, food, this so much, this so much. So once you, and then your rent monthly, you capture it as against your income. And then she'll see the gap. From the gap, that's what you spend from.
That's it.
So once she sees the gap, say, look, based on what you want to buy, I think I can give you 200 for the visit that you are going, and that's how far I can go. Anything short of that, January, I think I'll call you for transport. Very important.
You see, the problem I think is that for most of the men, we get angry with such requests and say, look, I can't do it, without going by the way you sit down and you itemize everything and say, look, this is how much I spend for lunch, this is how much I spend.
It's very important.
And obviously you can see that
this
is it.
Anything short of that, maybe January I'll come to you for transport and food. And this, once she knows that, once she loves you, I think she'll be the first person who, I think, as for this year, let me exempt you.
But the danger is if he doesn't go by your method and he complies and buys the items on the list, what are the dangers he's going to have in future?
Oh, definitely. From what he's saying, January will be very tough. Very tough. I mean, I'm sure even transport to work will be difficult. Maybe there's some utilities aspect. Probably he's staying alone. He's rented some place, and all this cost will hit you back.
And next year the cycle will continue.
It will continue. So, like I said, this is the first year. So, if you observe the trend, and then next year going with this trend, if you love her that much, and she's that good, you observe the trend and plan.
Let's go to the Cove Town area where the flowers are many. Kofrida, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and your contribution, please.
Good morning. My name is Dauda Yunus.
Okay, Dauda, go ahead.
Okay. My contribution is about from your wife. The contribution from the wife is not necessary because being a man, you are supposed to catch up for everything. Saying that your wife earns 1,000 and she's telling you she's earning 500 is not right. You are the man. When our own comes in, there's a support. I think you get it. So you have to be a man.
All right, Dauda. So Dauda believes men should take charge of the finances of their home.
Certainly.
But if the woman wants to help?
Oh, definitely she will. You see, the thing is that you don't need to force a woman to help.
Okay.
Play your role. And once she sees that you are on top of the issues, and at a point there are crises, you call on her, I'm sure she'll be able to come in to help this. But people are marrying because of the financial aspect of the marriage. Some are targeting people at some sectors. I want to marry this type of professional, this type of professional, because their salary levels are quite high.
Were you targeted because you are triple man, you're accountant, tax advisor, investment banker? Were people targeting you?
I wasn't a chartered accountant when I got married.
But now?
So you see, we must have foresight. When you meet a man or woman, look at the direction.
All right.
So, but if you are maybe a chartered accountant now, or other professions where things are doing, people will target you. But again, as a man, you have to be responsible. But for men, I'm worried about men who do the targeting to the extent that they want to marry a certain kind of woman with a certain side of income, so that they will come in to help. That is why you'll be disappointed in the process, because they do not disclose. Even if you know that, from this telecom industry, averagely all the CEOs earn $20,000, then maybe you die. You'll be thinking and frustrated. Your marriage will not survive.
It may not happen.
So love well, do your part, and I'm sure even you'll be shocked that if you do your things well, your wife will tell you, look, I have $20,000.
Let's take and do some investment.
And that is the way forward. For me,
Kingsley, your final tip for us to survive December and go into January without being broke?
That it's two fronts. The first front is for just make sure that you use your November salary well. By now, maybe you have used almost about 50%. Just look at how the 50% will survive through the Christmas. If not, maybe a certain portion of the December one, maybe some 20% of it can be added to November just to take you through, and focus on 80 for January so that you can sail through. Now, for the things that you are buying, try to save some do a list, compare prices. Where you want to buy LED for maybe from 1,200 or 5,000 or something, you do some comparison, you realize I can get it for 4,000, you see for 1,000. Again, you can also do some online shopping, where sometimes there's no, shipping, the shipping cost is free, another thing they can deliver to you, these I can cut down. And there are also promotions, take advantage of promotions and some discounts available, so that you'll be able to, once you're able to do some of these things, you are good to go. And I'm sure you will save a lot when it comes to Christmas. And so for me, January, everybody should look at January, plan well, so you can pay your school fees. And again, I think I have this important audio. People can get the mindset factor in wealth creation. I think you have it here.
I do have it here.
Yes, you can get a copy for 20 Ghana cedis. Once your mindset is right, wealth creation 2018 will be an interesting one. And when it comes to December, there will not be any problem.
You'll be smiling.
And then next year we'll be having some calls where people are saying that, look, this one I have the budget.
Yeah.
And that's all.
You're good to go. Mindset is the key thing. Thank you so much, Kingsley Ajenku Hayford. He's a co-founder of Ann Street Africa, chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, investment banker, and hopefully you have gotten all the information you need not to enter 2018 broke. Keep watching GH1 TV. We've got more.